Now it's just live.
Now we're live, and away we go.
Hey, this is Dr. Buzz with Buckeye Physical Medicine and Rehab. BuckeyePMR.com is the website. And we are going to talk about weight loss today. Go over some misconceptions. And the main thing I want to talk about is everybody can lose weight. There's no excuse not to lose weight if you really want to lose weight. Just so many people are jaded because they do weight loss wrong. So we're going to talk about how to do weight loss right. And I've literally seen hundreds, if not thousands, of people come through Buckeye and lose weight on our weight loss program. So I'm really excited to talk about this today. Not just because you look better, but there's, many of the cancer, heart disease, these things are often predicated by being obese. So, it's more than just looking good. It's about living a healthy life. So we're going to cut the break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, this is Dr. Buzz with Buckeye Physical Medicine and Rehab. BuckeyePMR.com is the website. And we're going to talk today about our accelerated medical weight loss program. And actually, we developed this program at Buckeye. We're a physical medicine facility, and we treat a lot of people with knee pain, shoulder pain, ankle pain, hip pain. But a lot of these orthopedic conditions, when the people come in, it is because they've been overweight for a long period of time. It's just common sense. Is if you have more weight on your body, it's more weight on the joints, and it causes them to wear out. So, as part of being a complete physical medicine facility and treating, not just treating the pain, but treating the cause of the pain, which deals with hormones. But another thing that's really important is weight. And if you're overweight and you have back pain, or you have knee pain, or you have ankle pain, it's going to be a rough road. And at some point, you're going to have to lose weight. And unfortunately, most of the people that come in that were overweight, you've asked, you've done a diet before, and they say, well, I can't lose weight. I've tried and it never works out. But the problem is they've never tried it the right way. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm here with Mike. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Buzz?
And you have some common questions people have also, I think we're going to talk about a little bit today. So,
well, I did a little bit of research on this topic because you have the holidays. You come right off of Thanksgiving. Then you go into Christmas time, but then you have the New Year's resolution people. Mm-hmm. And as we've talked about before on shows, you have people that their New Year's resolution is to lose weight for a certain amount of time, so they do these crash diets, which are not healthy, and it doesn't
You're going to see a bunch of commercials on TV now. Oh. Everyone wants to lose weight for the holidays that look good for their family.
Well, I happened to see something the other night. I was watching something on DVR where it was, for women, it was hormones that you could take orally to lose weight. So that stuff is out there.
No sense.
And right, you said that before. You cannot orally take this to get those results.
There are oral steroids out there, which aren't, those aren't hormones. Those are drugs that mimic hormones.
Right.
But anything you take orally is going to have to be methylated, and that methylation process is liver toxic. So It makes zero sense.
So it's doing more damage to you. But
yeah.
When we're talking about weight loss, when the holidays come, I think the biggest thing is people are like, well, I'm going to binge just for a couple of days and I'll get back at it. And you really don't do that. So the first step to this would be the accountability factor, right? I mean, if someone was to come to you for the program at Buckeye, accountability is probably the number one thing.
Yeah, that's why at the Buckeye program, one of the key components is you have to come in once a week and check in with your coach. Now, we don't do this in a group setting because that could be humiliating for someone. People make mistakes. But you got to sit down with your coach once a week, and we know on the program that if you're not losing 5 pounds a week on the program, you're cheating, right? It is what it is. You should lose more than 5 pounds. But if you're not losing 5 pounds, they're going to look you in the eye and say, what's up? Yeah.
So, kind of like you did today. Yeah. When you said to someone else, that's not on the diet. Yeah. You didn't pick on them. You just said that's not on the diet. Cheesecake is not on the diet.
Right.
Okay.
So, and sometimes it's an honest mistake. I've had people come in and say, well, I've been eating healthy. I've just been having a bunch of carrots. Well, carrots could go to sugar really quick. So that's like eating, it's not as bad as a candy bar, but it's not what you should be eating if you're trying to lose weight. Or I'm eating corn. Well, once again, I'm not slamming corn, but if you're on a diet, corn's not on the diet. If you're trying to lose a lot of weight, So a lot of it's innocent stuff, and we'll have them take a food log and a journal and write down everything they put in their mouth, write on the log, and we'll look at it and say, hey, delete this, delete that. And sometimes it's that simple. But I think that accountability, no one wants to let their coach down. Nobody, right? And the way we judge our success at Buckeye is everyone loses weight and they keep the weight off. And step one is, making sure you're accountable every week. Because the other thing is that accountability during this process creates habits. And eating properly is a habit. You know, I'll have to admit myself, I put on 10 pounds over the past couple months, and I had to change my diet, and it took me a week to kind of turn around, but now it's easy. I'm no big deal, but you can't turn it on in a day, you know, so
Right.
so it's a habit.
But if you have bad habits, the whole reason to go and get on the program is to kind of reboot that system.
You got to learn how to eat. People don't know how to eat. You know, they watch, Slim Fast commercial and say, oh man, I can have the creamy shake and the bar or whatever. You're not going to shake your way into a diet. You're not going to have these crunchy crunch bars. It doesn't work that way. You got to eat normal foods, right? So, and that's what we teach you. And when I say normal foods, any diet that you buy prepackaged foods is not sustainable unless you're going to buy those foods forever, which could cost a fortune. You have to learn how to walk into the grocery store and make healthy decisions, and healthy decisions that taste good. You know, dieting doesn't have to be terrible. It means eating nutritious food that fills you up, that's good for you, and that's what it's all about.
But let me ask you this. Do you believe that a lot of these programs you see are calorie restricted programs? So they're more teaching you to stay in that range rather than teaching you what fiber to get or what certain proteins to get, right? So it's not really teaching you anything. You are just following a plan that might work for one person, might not work for the other.
Yeah, everyone's diet is customized. I mean, there's no...
But not when you buy the thing online is what I mean.
Right. Yeah. So that's part of the coaching and the coming in and being accountable and having a food log and really looking into what you're eating, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And any real diet is going to have those components, you know. So, but step one is you do have, if you want to keep the weight off forever, you know, the purpose of the accelerated weight loss program we have at Buckeye is not for you to come back every 6 months and redo the diet. That doesn't even make any sense. And when a new patient comes in, the first thing we say is, listen, are you willing to change your life? Are you willing to really make a lifestyle change? Because if you're just doing this to lose weight for the holidays, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. If you want to do a life change, we're here for you. But if you're here just not to eat and take appetite suppressants and lose weight and then go back to your crappy habits after the holiday, go on a juice fast or something. Do something else that isn't going to work out for you. But if you really want to make a life change, we're there for you.
Yeah, do the thing that doesn't work. But if you really want it to work, come to Buckeye.
If you just drank juice or whatever that one diet was, South Beach diet, you probably would lose weight. But you're going to mess up your metabolism and you're going to end up fatter on the backside.
Well, you're not losing fat, right? You're losing
weight.
Scale
you're not losing fat.
numbers. You're not losing fat.
Yeah, losing fat and losing weight are two different things. So if you don't eat, you'll lose weight. And a little bit of that will be fat and a little bit will be muscle. So the problem is, number one, you're going to be that skinny fat person. You're not going to have any tone, right? The skinny fat person. But number two, you need muscle for your metabolism because people with more muscle can eat more food because muscle eats up calories. So any diet you're on has to really make sure that you don't lose muscle because you want to be able to that's why people that are the majority of people that go on diets end up putting more weight on after the diet's over. And that's not me just saying that. You Google it, you can see it. Statistics show when people lose weight, they end up within 2 years putting on more weight than they lose. The majority of people.
Well, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry now. Is the supplement industry or these prepackaged foods? The one thing.
But it's a joke. It doesn't work.
No, I understand. But that's the thing is you have more people that are doing it, and they are doing it at kind of targeted times. The holidays, New Year's resolution, Valentine's Day, wedding season, and then they stop, and then they're providing their own. If you look on any social media, they're providing their before and after. Somebody gets in really great shape for a wedding, and 3 months later, they put on that 30 pounds they always had before, or more. So it's not really. You're not dedicating yourself to learning, which is what the program at Buckeye is learning how your body responds to this reboot.
100%. And that means and step one is walk into the grocery store. This is good. This is no good. This is how I can make this stuff that I thought wasn't going to be tasty really tasty. That's step one. Learn, and you can do it on your own. A lot of these commercials, they have these famous actresses on there, actors losing all this weight. They have personal trainers, probably. Hey, listen, we're going to do this commercial, and we're going to pay you $100,000, but you need to lose 20 pounds. Well, give me $100,000, I'll lose 20 pounds real quick, and I'm pretty lean already. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'll hire a trainer, and I'll have a chef come to my house and cook me food every day. Come on, man. That's not really.
Yeah, I saw Dan Marino was like 180 pounds in a commercial, and I saw him at about 235 on the sidelines like a couple months later. He must have been like wearing out that elliptical.
So that's all great for them, but that's not real. If you want to be real, you got to learn how to eat properly, step one, and have some level of accountability.
And your coach is part of that, right? So your coach is going to walk you through those steps and will also be there to make that adjustment.
Correct. And all the coaches we had have been through the program themselves, you know. So
Well, Travis is one.
Travis is one. We have Rachel. We have Cassie. They've all been on the diet. They've all had great success. So when your coach will understand where you've been. You know what I'm saying? They're people that have been overweight or battled weight problems, have failed on diets, and know there's a solution to the problem.
Isn't that kind of how Travis got turned into, like, he was such a believer in the program that he became part of the staff?
100%. Yeah,
Which
Travis was morbidly obese, you know, his whole life, and you know, he's lost over 100 pounds and kept it off. You know, and now he lives it. So that's why he has such passion when people come in to talk. And I think sometimes mistake his
Enthusiasm?
his enthusiasm or his persuasiveness for just it's simply his passion, because he knows it works. You know, and you know, his story, he's been on here before. Both his parents were obese. You know, he can remember his dad not being able to ride a roller coaster with them. I mean, that's scarring, right?
Right.
You know, and it was kind of. We actually went to lunch yesterday. We were talking a little bit, and he was telling a story to someone we were sitting there with, and he's like, you know, being a fat boy was bad enough, but at least I was a pretty good athlete. I could play football, and the skinny kid made fun of me. I could just beat him up, you know.
Right.
But if you're heavier as a female, you don't have that option.
Yeah, that's the thing. You brought this up before, where when you see kids at a school and you see that they're overweight, like I see it a lot.
Kids are brutal, man. Kids are
brutal.
brutal.
Yeah, they are really mean.
Yeah.
And like my daughter's 10 years older and will come home and tell me stories of what she doesn't say it, but it's like the other kids are picking on them, and I thought, it's not really that kid's fault, but it is generational. They are getting the learning habits from their parents, and that's what they're going to do. So
But the parents don't know in their defense. The
Right.
parents don't know.
Right.
Or we're all big boned. That's all BS. But you know, Grammy was big. I'm big. You're just gonna be big bone too, honey. You know, we'll just deal with it. Like, no.
That's the part, is you get a lot of people, well, I just deal with it, or I'm doing the best I can. That's not really it. You're not educated, which is not somebody's fault, but there's no show in the middle of the afternoon that shows you how to eat properly and all that. This is a lose weight fast. We're in a very lose weight fast society. It's crash diets, and there's no responsibility or accountability on your part. That's where the coaching comes in.
You know, and once again, it's not just about how you look. You know, that's obviously can be a factor, right? You know, like Travis was saying yesterday, he was, you know, when there'd be pool parties, he wouldn't go because he didn't want to be pulling his shirt off.
Right.
So he imagines as a kid, like when there's pool party, you know, I gotta cut the grass or something. Like,
right. I'm gonna go read.
Yeah. So, but more important than that, and that's really important, obviously, but like, is the health consequences. You know, and pretty much any disease you can think of that's preventable, whether it's cancer, heart disease, diabetes, are all directly related to obesity. Directly related.
And there's a diabetes study that the rate of diabetes will go up 50% by the year 2030, just based on things that you're eating.
Because people are getting bigger.
Right, but you don't even know what you're putting into your body, what you're consuming, and you're doing it over and over again. So you're not treating the overall symptom. You're getting on medications for weight loss. You're like to deal with your diabetes or insulin issues. That you don't need any of that.
No, I mean type 2 diabetes, which is usually caused by being obese. Not type 1. Type 1's a totally different animal. But type 2 diabetes, which is usually caused by being obese, is completely preventable and reversible. So you can take a type 2 diabetic, make them lose weight, teach them to eat properly, and they can become clinically non-diabetic.
You've had that, though. You've
100%.
had people through the clinic that have done that.
So anyone listening that has type 2 diabetes, you can reverse the disease and get off your meds, period. But you got to eat properly and you got to lose weight.
You have to be dedicated to it. You can't.
And if you choose, but what happens to these people is they just, they usually start off on, what are the lighter medications? They'll start off on taking these medications, and they always get worse. If you're sitting listening and you're a type 2 diabetic and you've been a type 2 diabetic for some time, your medication dose always goes up. It never goes down.
Right.
Always, always, always. And if you just start taking medications, next year, if you're going to think back to this and say, oh man, I remember I was just taking one of those a day, now I'm taking that and another pill. Because what happens is when you take these medications, your pancreas just shuts down. And everybody who's a type 2 diabetic ends up on insulin at some point. And the majority of them end up dying of heart disease at some point. Crappy, right?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Just because the majority of them are overweight. And anyone can lose weight.
When you've had people come in for weight loss, are they people that, I mean, obviously you're going to know that if you look at them, they need to lose weight, but is the desire to just they want to get off their meds, or do they even think about that?
I don't think they think that's an option.
Because
they don't even think about that.
You've said that, and I always think like it would be a great thing to be able to bring those medications in that you didn't take. I don't need these anymore, right? That would be a great thing for them to do. I mean, that's a path I'd want to get to, rather than, as you said, you're going to increase your dosage every single year to just treat this. You're not fixing the problem. You're just symptomatizing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're a type 2 diabetic listening to this and you don't lose weight and you don't learn how to eat properly, you will end up on insulin at some point, period. End of story. It's not even debatable.
So I want to get into the coaching part at this point. So your coach it's a once a week check-in. Mm-hmm. What else do they
But it's more than that. I mean, anytime you need help, they're available 24/7.
Right, but it's a guaranteed that you're going to have that correspondence once a week,
yes,
minimum. But
we can't go to your house and drag you. So if you choose
right.
not to come in, I mean, it is what it is. We don't have like a.
But that's a part of the accountability. If you're changing your lifestyle, you have to participate. It can't be I'll just text you or I'll email you.
It's strongly encouraged that you come in once a week, like it or not.
I can tell by the look on your face. It's strongly encouraged.
Just, I mean, because this is a one-time diet, you shouldn't have to keep doing it every year or whatever. So suck it up. Come to the office once a week when you're on the diet to make sure it works.
How long is the program?
The program, the whole program lasts 2 to 3 months. It depends on how much weight the person wants to lose. And the program has many different components to it. So the diet we're talking about, how to eat properly, is one component of it. But then we're also using the other pharmaceutical things to help people with this diet. And number one, any diet where you're going to lose weight, you have to be calorie restricted. Basically, what that means is you have to take in less calories than you're going to burn. That's what a diet is, right? And there's no way around that. So the problem with that, though, is when you do that, you're hungry. Mm-hmm. Your body's like, hey, man, I need some more of these calories, right? So step one is we use appetite suppressants. And the appetite suppressant is, I will tell you, is the least important part of the diet, but it does make the diet easy. And the 2 appetite suppressants we use is phentermine. It's been safely used since the 70s. Very good medication, very inexpensive, much better than there's Belviq and all these other garbage out there. Phentermine is the gold standard. The reason it's not prescribed a lot out of common physicians' offices anymore is it's lost its patent. So literally they're like $1 or $2 a pill. They're dirt cheap compared to like a Belviq or these other ones. They're hundreds of dollars a month, and they don't work as good. But there's no drug reps out there telling docs to give out phentermine, so they give the other crap out that costs more money. Which, that's my cynical hat, so I'll take my cynical hat off. Right. Anyways, I just know what works and what doesn't. We also use pharmaceutical grade Garcinia cambogia. Very powerful supplement. It comes from a fruit that works very, very well, and it's pharmaceutical grade, so you know the quality. Anything that goes through a pharmacy is tested and regulated, so we want to make sure we're giving our patients the best products, and that also works really well. So that kills the appetite, And then the second thing you got to do is, when we talked about earlier, you have to burn fat, not muscle. And in order to burn fat, not muscle, we employ some other really unique things. And the first thing we use is HCG, which is human chorionic gonadotropin. This is a naturally occurring hormone in males and females. So males and females both produce it. Females produce it, in particular when they're pregnant, because when they're pregnant, the priority is to feed the baby, and the way you feed the baby is with their deep fat stores. So if you give a female with this when they're not pregnant, number one, they won't get pregnant.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part when you say that.
Yeah, I had to say that. Anyway, but what it does is it tricks their body into burning their deep fat stores. So everybody has that area of their body the fat comes off last. That's your deep fat store. And whether it's your love handles or your butt or wherever that is, that's where your body has its deep fat stores. When you take HCG, that's where the fat comes off first instead of last. So the most amazing thing about HCG is not only do you burn fat really efficiently, but right where you want it is where it comes off. So that's like the coolest thing. People just love that. The other 2 lipotropics we use are L-carnitine. Now, L-carnitine is an amino acid, so it's naturally occurring. No patent on that either. But it's the amino acid, if you remember back to when you were in high school and you were talking about cellular biology, it's the amino acid that literally takes fat out of the cell. So if you have a deficiency in L-carnitine, you can't burn fat. End of story. So a lot of people probably listening and say, well, I don't eat anything and I still don't lose weight. You don't have L-carnitine. Because if you don't eat, and you don't lose weight, you can't burn fat without L-carnitine. So to make sure you have it, we give you pharmaceutical from a pharmacy, strength L-carnitine, and load you up with it. So when you're calorie deficient, you're burning fat. The other thing we use is L-methionine, which is another amino acid, which means it's naturally occurring. And L-methionine has been used for years on people that have cirrhosis of the liver, because what happens too is you get this thing called fatty liver. When you're obese, you get a fatty liver. When you have a fatty liver, things don't work right in your body. You don't process carbohydrates right, you can't filter things right, and it just clogs you up. L-methionine cleans the fat out of your liver. And once again, it's a naturally occurring thing. It's from a pharmacy. And we give you high doses of that, the L-carnitine and the HCG. And when you're calorie deficient, you're burning fat like crazy. That's why the diet works.
But it has to be all those pieces together. You can't just do the diet.
It's the
You
coaching.
can't just- right.
It's the learning how to eat properly. It's the accountability, HCG, L-methionine, and the L-carnitine. That's all those things. And the other thing we do address is just your gut health. Most people don't have healthy guts, so we address that and put you on prescription strength probiotics also, just to make sure your gut's functioning properly. Because when you're losing weight, obviously you got to pass stuff through.
Right.
When
the average weight loss, I know is going to be different, but I mean, Nestor was on here. You just said Travis lost over 100
pounds.
And Nestor is a big kid.
Yes.
But didn't he lose like 80 or 100 pounds too?
Yes, he lost a lot of weight. And the typical weight loss for a person, will be conservative, is 5 pounds a week. But I don't want to say more people than that lose more than that, but we'll just say 5 pounds a week. But I've seen people lose 10 pounds a week. I've seen people lose 15 pounds a week. And the best part of it is it's not even hard, because when you're on the appetite suppressants, and the other thing you got to keep in mind is when you're burning fat efficiently, that gives you energy. So people say they sleep less and have more energy in the diet because they're really efficient at burning fat. Because fat is the body's primary thing they want to burn. It burns for energy, right? So most people say, man, I sleep less. I feel, but I sleep less because I feel great, right? And I'm losing the weight and I have more energy, and
And they're moving around more, whether it's hiking, going to the gym, whatever it is. So that's going to aid in burning more fat too.
100%. And then the final thing we always talk about is we also check out the hormones, because the other thing you're going to run into is males and females, when they've been chronically obese for a long period of time, it wreaks havoc on the endocrine system. Usually they're going to have real high estrogen levels, real low testosterone levels, growth hormone levels are messed up. You could have vitamin deficiencies, and these are all things that need to be addressed too if you really want to keep the weight off long term. And any diet that is going to be sustainable and long term and really address your health has to address all these factors.
And they can all be done in one place.
Yep. I mean, everyone that starts our weight loss program, we do blood work on too, because if you have a messed up thyroid or low testosterone or high estrogen, you got to address those issues. You can't just,
Well, the hormone being added, that helps in the weight loss as well, too.
It's an integral part.
Right.
It's a must. It's a must.
So you can transition from one to the other or do them at the same time?
If they need it. But then you got to look at, is your thyroid messed up? You have low testosterone? Is your estrogen? I mean, people become estrogen dominant. You see guy with man boobs. Like those dudes are loaded with estrogen, right? And the problem with that is when you have high estrogen, you're more likely to get cancer.
Right.
Plus, man boobs are not cool.
No, they're not. You can't go
That's
to that
not
pool
dad
party.
bod. That's not.
You can't go to that pool party whether you're 16 or 60.
Yeah. Or male engagement rings. But anyways. But anyone who, like, if you're a guy out there and you have your boobs are growing, you have a lot of estrogen, man, and that's on top of not being cool. It's not healthy.
Right. It's a major.
Estrogen causes heart disease, causes cancer, causes all this stuff. I mean, you need to get that stuff under control. And step one is get blood work done. See what's up.
Tell people, because we're almost out of time, how can they contact the coaching staff and get part of the program?
So you can go right to our website, which is Buckeye, P as in Paul, M as in Mary, R as in Roy.com. Go on that website. We have tons of testimonials, tons of videos, and just click on the thing. And it doesn't cost you anything to come in and just hear what we have to say. Like a lot of these places, they charge you to come in, or you have to commit to something. You have to commit to anything. Come in, get educated on, and make a decision. And the only thing I do ask is, if someone's obese in a family, it affects the whole family, right? So I do ask, if you're going to come in, bring your spouse or your husband or whoever else is involved with this too, because it's a decision you got to make as a family, and it can affect the whole family, because usually if the parents are heavier, then the kids are heavier too. And although they might, the good thing with children is their metabolism is usually faster, so they don't need the phentermine, the HCG, and all that stuff. But they'll benefit from just the healthy eating habits of the parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It gets handed down.
100%. So, it's not just about you. It's about your family. It's about your children. And so it could be about your children's children, because it's a generational thing.
Right.
So, I appreciate you coming on here today.
Yeah, it was cool.
And if you're listening, please check out our website, BuckeyePMR.com. Anybody can lose weight, I promise you. But check out our website, come in and hear what we have to say. I want to help you out, but I can't help you if you don't come in. Until next time.